Yeah. So I go by Kelso. Let's see, founder, CEO, creative director, all that of Kelsoul, the brand. Um, the founder of Basecamp, the general, the head leader, all that. Kelsoul. All right, so Kelsoul is the name of my brand that I put together. It's about like a year and a half ago, probably about like 2 years ago. I had got into making clothes and sewing and everything like that. Like my mom, she makes like leather goods, handbags, and stuff like that. And she took the time out to show me how a sewing machine works. And basically, I mean, just like the simple things like how to thread it and how to do the bobbin and all this stuff. Because she was just like, every man needs to know how to sew, just like in case of emergency or anything. And so I took that and I was like, I just want to see if I could make a shirt. So like in the next 2 days, I just practiced at it for a little bit. And then like the third day, I made a whole t-shirt. And so that's when I was like, you know what, I could probably do this. Like, cause I've always been into the arts and stuff like that. So I was like, let's see if I could translate some of that like into this. And that's just when it started. And so that's when I really made my mind up to start a clothing line, because I wanted it to be something that's not all me, you know what I mean? Like a me thing. So I went to Facebook to let the people decide on what it would be named, so it could be more of like a Roanoke involvement kind of thing, like throughout the whole process and the whole journey. So I just asked people like, hey, I'm creating a clothing brand. What would you think would be cool for it to be called? You know what I mean? Like, what would you guys like to hear? Like, what would you want to see on the shirts, walking around, whatever. Now I got like a couple names like King Kelso, like Crown with a K. I think based judging off my tattoo, uh, and then Kelso, and like it was a couple that got like a lot of likes, but that one just got the most, like out of all of them. So I was like, okay, bet, let's rock with Kelso. Like I'm with it. Sean Parrish actually was the one that commented that on my Facebook post, and so it just stuck. That's where Kelso comes from. I think me being who I am and people knowing me for like always being in arts and creatives and stuff like that, I kind of built up a respect to where like if I say I'm gonna do something creative, people just understand it and kind of just like fall back and like watch. You know what I mean? There's never really a negative like from the outside world. Now the people closer to me, I'll get to that in a minute. But to the outside world, people are always kind of like stand back and like, okay, let's see what you're about to do type shit. So when I said I was gonna come out with a clothing line and I was gonna start doing clothes, people were anticipating it. You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't half-ass anything. I really do what I say I'm gonna do. To the people closer to me, it was a totally different subject. Like it was a lot of laughs. It was a lot of like, oh, you always trying to do everything. Because like prior to that, I was customizing tennis shoes. Like, and this was before like it got hot. Me and my homie Justin actually, it was just like a little side hustle. We would take regular tennis shoes and just would like take some leather paint and just design them, like go crazy on them, so that people could have like whatever custom shoes. So I was doing that. I had started messing around with like beat production and stuff like that, but I wasn't like serious about it. And so just when people being around me, when you first start up, it takes a long time to get really good at something. So if you're around me enough, you'll notice that like cause like even though I'm doing clothes right now, people don't know I'm actually trying other stuff too. But if you're close to me, you'll see me trying all this stuff over and over and over and like failing at it. So if you're close to me, you don't know my mental process of like how I do things. It'll look like, oh, you just doing any fucking thing and it's just not working. You know what I mean? Like they'll see me trying this, they'll see me trying that, and I'm not doing good at it. From outside looking in, you'll peek for a second and be like, why are you doing that? That's not working. That's not working. Just stick to this. But it's like, so it was a lot of laughs, a lot of people trying to tell me that they think that I'm doing too much. I need to focus on one thing and stop trying to do all this other shit. But I knew in my head, it's like, I'm not listening to them. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'll make it work. I'm really good at this shit because when I put my head to it, I just get it done. But then once I finally started dropping things, niggas understood, you know what I mean? They came around, I'm like, okay, well shit then, let me get some shirts. And I'm like, see, look at you. And nobody won't pay for nothing. But you was so laughing last year. I think my lowest moment for Kelsoul would probably be right now with my last show, the second rodeo. It was, I put it together, and like my whole reason for putting it together was to like honor people that currently losing and that I've lost in the past. And because like it all happened just so frequently at one time, and I just haven't like really like let it soak in yet, kind of deal. And beyond that, I really wanted to put together this show, but I put it together in like a month and set it up at the time and sold out the seats in like 2 weeks, which was insane because I wasn't even expecting anybody to come. I really just wanted to put it together to get it done and get it out of my system, and so that certain people can see it, you know what I mean? It was only certain people that really cared to see it. And it came together. It's showtime now, and I get there and just things weren't going my way, like at all. And even though I'm super excited for like the reception that it got, everybody saying like it was legendary, it was amazing, all those things. But me personally, it's like I hear you say it's amazing, you say it's really cool, but if y'all would have saw what I actually saw, like what I actually wanted to happen, like the vision I had for it, if you would have gotten a chance to see that versus what came out. I mean, it was a good show, like, but it would have been better had it actually came out how I saw it originally in my head. But it was just little things that I couldn't control that just tore my plan up a little bit. But I'm trying not to beat myself up too much about it. I feel a way about it, like, because I'm very over compulsive with anything that I put my hands on, you know what I mean? Because I feel like everything that I touch should just be nothing less than great. So when something's cool, it's like really fucks my head up, you know what I mean? It was a cool show to me. To everybody else, it was amazing, but if they would have gotten a chance to see what I actually wanted them to see and be a part of, it would have been beyond that. I think my highest moment, you see, there's so much within the brand, and I feel like I should probably speak on that too. There's so much within the brand that's not written on paper. Like, of course, there's the clothes, there's a fashion show, but then there's like all the extra creative bullshit that I do that's tied in with it. And I don't gloat on it and I don't post it all the time. It's still a part of what Kelsoul is. Because I put together a track and like I made the beat using a sample from a Pusha T song, and it was basically like me doing a spoken word over top of the beat. And the things that I touched on within that track called Black Phoenix is probably like ultimate high for me, because it was certain people that I wanted to hear it because I knew that they would pick up on certain things, and it was like my way of talking to them without talking to them. And I'm really big on this whole like immortalization thing. So it's like, if I'm ever to, if my body stops tomorrow, because I don't believe I ever die, but if my body stops tomorrow, you can play this back and know that this is what I meant, type shit. And so I know from my mama, when she heard it, it blew her away. Like the message she sent me was just confirmation. It's like, okay, Willie, I'll leave that as the high for me. Yeah. Depression. Low key. I don't know. I don't think I've ever made a collection. I don't think I've ever put together a collection where I was just like in a great mindset. I don't even really feel creative when I'm in a good space, a good headspace, because I think in those times I'm just kind of like enjoying the moments and enjoying life for what it is, you know? So I don't really feel the need to create. I'm just here, like, enjoying life. But then it's like I fall into these pits. I always say, like, I'm like one of the only people that can find shade in the dark. Like, if that makes sense. It's like when I hit a dark patch, it really gets dark for me. And then it's just, but like in that, I feel comfortable too, because it's like, and I'm trying not to go off subject. I'm a go off subject, but I'm gonna reel the shit back in. So just follow me. So as a child, like, I've always been afraid of the dark, and you know what I mean. It was like a couple situations like growing up that we went through as like a family that just like kind of forced that on me. Like, I was just like really afraid of the dark. But then I remember I was probably like 10 years old. I was sitting in my room, and it was one of those nights where I just couldn't fall asleep. Like, it was really dark, and I'm panicking. Like, I'm really tripping, because it's like I'm sitting here wondering what's looking at me that I can't see. You know what I mean? And I just made my mind up that I'm just not gonna be afraid no more. So I like, and my comfort thing was to like pull the covers over me, so like they can't see me, I can't see them type thing. I didn't do that anymore. I said, you know what? I just sat there, and I raised up, and I closed my eyes, and I was like, whatever's in here, if it's gonna get me, it's gonna get me. I sat there for like 10 minutes, ain't shit touched me. So I was like, fuck this. Like, I ain't gonna be afraid of the dark no more. I was like, I'm not afraid of this, and nobody won't none. So I went back to sleep. And then like from then on, I would dead ass train myself, like, in the dark. I'm like, anytime where I couldn't sleep, I would just sit up and be like, you know what, like, what's good with it? That being said, I'm gonna reel it back in. When I hit these patches where I fall into this dark space, it's like I go back to that, like, the child version of me. And I sit there and I'm like, damn, bro, like, shit's weird right now, but let's just stand tall for a second. Let's embrace it, and let's see, like, if nothing happens, if my body doesn't stop working, you know what I mean? Like, my brain doesn't deteriorate, I'm still making sense when I speak, let's get back to work. So what happens is I take that, and then I pull from all of that, and then some cool shit happens, and I just make stuff. Because if I don't, shit can get ugly, I guess. I don't know. I never let myself get past that. I've always just like made myself create. So it really takes my mind off of it. And then like seeing the reception from people, viewing the things that I put together, then that, I guess, aids me too, you know? Yeah, the support I get in Roanoke is pretty tight. I think it comes with just being a good person and like not stepping on any toes, not burning any bridges, and not making anything about me, because I never do. It's always about how can I help somebody else get the same thing that I have too. And when you do that, it makes people want to work with you more. So it's like the more people work with you, the more support you'll get, I guess. But there's also some strategic moves that like I put in place to like really aid me with this whole support thing. I ain't really spoke on, but we can get into it though. So Kelso, when I put it together, the fact that my name was in it, the fact that when people pick my name for my clothing brand and they base it around that, told me something, that they respect my name and they respect who I was enough to, that's what they would want to see on a shirt, you know what I mean? So that let me know that, okay, look, bro, like, you're a good dude, people bang with you, like, they actually want to see you do something with this, let's roll on that. And I've always been the type of person, like, I take pride in just being a solid guy and just being cool with everybody. That alone gave me the confidence to start the clothing brand and like just do really whatever I want to do. And like people like it, they'll like it. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is. But like, it's my name on my chest. You gotta love it or hate it. But that was cool at first, because now it's like I'm putting products out and people are looking at it just as that. Like, yeah, we're cool. We're cool with you. We're cool with who you are. We still don't want to buy this shit, but like, it's cool that you're doing it. We support it. Like, you know, keep going, whatever. So now I'm thinking like, well, damn, how can I, from a business point of stance, get people to like who I am, like the things I make, and actually want to buy them. And I started paying attention to how like businesses are ran. And as a sole proprietor, what happens is everything's based on you, like who you are. You're the only one that's taking the blame for everything. Like whatever you do wrong, it's gonna fall back on you. Everything that you do great, it'll come back to you. Like all that stuff. It's a one-man show. That's technically how I was moving. That's how I saw myself. But you fall short on the things that you can write off as a one-man show. And I don't really know how to elaborate on that too much without boring whoever's watching this. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let them use their Googles to figure that out. Just look up write-offs as a sole proprietor and then write-offs as a corporation. So I looked at the comparisons from sole proprietor and a corporation. And I like the benefits of being a corporation way more than I like being a sole proprietor. Because as a sole proprietor, like I said, you're limited actually to the things that you can do and get away with. But as a corporation, yeah, you have people that are now working with you, aiding you, and you're able to write off way more things. Like you can gamble in a sense with the things that you want to try. And if you fail, it's like, okay, but we also got something over here working. Like, you're just able to produce way more stuff and move faster. I treated the grounds of Roanoke as a corporation, and I reached out to people who I felt like were fitting in this mode of like who I was trying to be and where I feel like Roanoke could head towards. And so I reached out to a guy named Tada, I knew him from hosting like rap shows around here. And I haven't been to a lot of shows, but the ones I have been to, he was hosting them all. So I say, hey, look, bro, I want to put together a fashion show. You should like host it for me, like if you really want to. Like if not, it's cool. Like I understand. He was lit off the rip, so I'm like, okay, cool, let's do that. And then so I started hitting up other talents from just every part of Roanoke. Never knew any of these guys, but I knew that they had a following, and I knew that just from looking at their TL, like they're hungry, they're constantly dropping stuff, and they're only talking about getting better at their craft and like really trying to get themselves out there. So I hit all them. I was like, hey, I'm putting together a fashion show. You should come get on this. It can be bigger than a fashion show. We can turn it into some type of crazy ass rodeo type thing. And like, we'll showcase you, we'll showcase me. We'll bring our fan bases together and make one big fan base. In a sense, that's what we did. So we brought fan bases from all over Roanoke, talent from all over Roanoke, and put them all under one building. Now we're a corporation, you know what I mean? Versus me being a sole proprietor trying to put together a show by myself, that's boring. As a corporation, now we have all kind of things that we can write off now. Because now it's like, okay, if you didn't like that set, watch this one. Or if you didn't like that set, watch this one. You want to see my clothes, here's that. We got a whole lot of things, but we all stuck together and we keep doing it. We just had the second rodeo show, and it was even bigger. And so like that's where the support comes from in Roanoke, reaching out and helping one another, and just being a good guy, I guess. You know. Even with the models too, my fault. That too also was a huge factor. I'm an okay looking guy. Like I can post pictures in my clothes and that's cool, but I knew that there's people. Social media is a business and it's a game, and you got to play it the right way if you want to use it as a platform for promotion. I'm still on home turf. I'm still trying to pull everybody I can from here. I knew there's people in Roanoke that get a lot of traffic through their social media platforms. And I say, hey, look, I have this thing that I'm developing. If you would get on board and just take a couple pictures for me, post it on your page, I'll post it on mine. We can kind of build this thing together. Did that, and that shit worked too. I threw it on Reagan Foster, and shit just went. Yeah, it was crazy. Within the industry, it would have to be, I mean, of course, I'm Kanye West. If I don't say Kanye West, I'm a fool. Within the industry, of course, yeah. And I say him because people compare me to him a lot. And that bothered me at first because it's like, I hate being compared to anything because I want to be my own thing. But like, at the same time, like, it's cool if I had to be compared to anything to be compared to him. You know what I mean? In a sense, when you break down what Kanye West does, he pushes the envelope and he breaks down walls and makes you relook at things like the way you looked at it first. So in a sense, that's the same thing I do. Like with this fashion show, when you hear a fashion show, you think of like super skinny models walking one way and then walking back, and like people sitting side by side and it's quiet. Totally flip that shit and put like allow people to just rage however they want, and like people of all shapes and colors can model. I don't really care. Like, you don't have to walk a certain way. Do whatever you want to do. It's just fun. It's free, and it's an actual show. You know what I mean? You don't have to be quiet. You don't have to cross your legs and come in with your church suit on. You can come in hoodie and sweatpants. We'll still be lit. You can come lit. It's all good. So yeah, if anything, I pull from him. Just like really trying to rewrite the script on a lot of things. Shout out to Ricky if he's watching it. Rewrite the script. Facts. Probably just him. I don't really know anybody else because I try not to let my creativity be tainted by other people's ideas or like style and stuff like that. I try not to study nobody, to be honest. I just do whatever I want and hope for the best. Yeah, so first you gotta have stress. You gotta have lack of sleep. As long as you got those two things, you should be okay. You'll be alright. As long as you got stress and lack of sleep, you're on to a good start. But this is the weird thing, and this is probably why I be so stressed out. I try not to plan, like, as much as I can and just run fully off instinct, because I feel like me myself, like, scientists call it instinct, but I call it like God's language. I feel like that's God's way of like talking to me. It's your intuition, like, it just comes naturally. You would make sense that you would think that that's God speaking to you. So however I feel in the moment is what I'm gonna do. There's no way you can plan completely for the future. I might like something today, I might feel different about it tomorrow. So as I get closer to my date, I'm just constantly making changes on what I feel like the show should be based around. And damn it if that ain't what we did. I'm talking about the day of the show. We putting videos together. Justin put together an entire video that went on before my set. It was probably like 5 minutes long. We put it together, yeah. And we was just like, hey, look, bro, went to tie-dye before my set came. Bro, play this video before my set comes out. We had to drop the screen, all that. And the shit was live, and then my clothes came out. And it's like that type of on-spot stuff is what I like thrive for, because it's just a thrill. And it's like I didn't expect that the day before, but here it is like the day of, and it's lit. Mortality. That's it. I said like 2 seconds ago, I don't feel like I'll ever die, but at some point my body has to stop. That's just how shit goes. And what I mean by that is I want to do enough to where if one day if my body decides like no more, my nigga, that's it. I've done enough to where it can be carried on and like other people can pick up on it, and I've influenced people, and when they do things, they'll think of me when they see them do it because it's like it's something that I started or I was working on and they were a part of, or whatever, however you want to put it. I just want to influence for the better. I want to create more lanes. I want to break down more walls so that people can do whatever they want to do too and not give a fuck and live forever. That's a tough one because I think like the show, I try not to plan. If it happens to go somewhere else, that's tight. If it just stays here, that's cool for Roanoke. I mean, I feel like it'll definitely be one of the biggest things here. So if that's what it is, that's what it is. If it goes other places, like, that's gonna be tight too. I ain't really trying to like, cause I do so many other things too. It's like, there's this whole label thing that we're trying to create, Basecamp, and
Basecamp?
yeah. I'm sure I'll think of some other shit to do too. So like, I don't know. I'm sure it'll all spread at some point. At some point in time, it'll touch other places. I ain't worried about it. That's how I answer it. I ain't worried about it. So, Basecamp is a creative design label, and it's a development label that focuses on taking the people behind the scenes, like videographers, cinematography, photography, writers like screenplay writers, directors, designers like fashion designers, graphic designers, visual artists, dancers, models, actors, all those things. The people behind the scenes and making them rock stars in a sense, like a record label does with musicians and like rappers and all that shit. What Basecamp will do, we will reach out and find people who are like us or like me, that if I see a guy and he's making clothes and I say, hey, like that's really cool, you should keep doing that. But he doesn't know how. He doesn't know how to put a fashion show together. But I see that he's consistent with making things and he actually has the drive to do it. I can contact him and say, hey, look, I have this thing that I started called Basecamp. I can sign you to it. We'll guide you and help you to become, a better designer. We'll give you the tools that you need, because signed to the label, we have models, because that's a real struggle when you're starting off to make clothes. It's like, it's hard to find people who aren't bullshitting you when you need to have models in your clothes to take pictures. We'll have graphic designers so you can have a logo made up. You can have posters when you decide to have a show. We'll have photographers on go, like videographers on go. So when it's time to have a show, you'll have your stuff recorded. You'll have a lookbook put together because we have photographers, like all that stuff. We're a big toolbox for the people within the label. But on the opposite end of it, we're the go-to spot for the people on the outside world, because what Basecamp will end up being is like the #1 place for people if they want advertisement done, if they want clothes made, tailored, customized, whatever. They know that they got to come to Basecamp because that's where the best of the best is, you know what I mean? So we'll become a demand to the outside world, but we'll be a toolbox to the creatives within it. Because now you have support, and that's what it is. It's like, it's a development program, because now when you're making clothes, that's one thing too. Sometimes it's good to just bounce ideas off each other, even if it's like, hey bro, like I feel like you should take that pocket and like maybe not do a plaid pocket, do a clear pocket. That'll just like switch the game up. And you're like, oh damn, bro, yeah, that's cool. You can have round table meetings with other designers and have them assist you on your collection, and it's just gonna help. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, so we'll be a little family. Everybody can get together and get more shit done, hopefully, at better quality. Because I feel like, in a sense, what's going to happen is we're going to become a school because we're teaching each other. And, that's what we do automatically already. Like, we go basement to basement. That's why it's called Basecamp. The actual name is Basement Campaign. Because it's like when Tyler comes through, I'm always in my basement working on stuff. When I come through here, we're shooting an interview in his basement. And like we're working on music in his basement. I go over Sheldon's crib, we're working on clothes in his basement. And when I go to Justin's house, like we're editing videos in his basement. And it's like, so we're just gonna combine them all and make Basecamp, the Basement Campaign, and do the same thing. Just put our brains together, see if we can get the hell up out of Roanoke. Yeah. Accomplished, because that was a goal. It's like, it's one thing to say you want to do something, but then like when you actually do it and the shit falls through, it builds a confidence, because now I want to do more shit. And then I do, and then it still works. So it's like, what's next? Let's create a label. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's really tight. That was like a big deal for me because I said that from the beginning. I didn't even tell them that though. I just contacted them and I was like, hey, I got a show, blah blah. I waited till after the show to tell them. I was like, hey, I actually reached out to you guys because I knew that all of you all had a following. You have talent, but the thing about Roanoke is everybody's put against each other 24/7, and like nobody works together. Either it's on some ego shit or like nobody just knows how to talk to each other. I don't know. I never had the issue, so it's like I want to put all you guys together because I want your fan base and I want your fan base and I know you want mine. So it's like let's just all come together, and it was really lit. There's some other fashion shows coming this summer. Tada's doing his Shape and Sounds thing. It's really tight, where he takes upcoming performing artists in Roanoke and gives them a chance to perform some of their newer songs. They may have never performed before. At least like my shows are for people who are seasoned performers, like they know what they're doing. They know how everything's supposed to go. His show is where you may not know anything, but you can come there and get your feet in the water, you know what I mean? So that's really tight that he's starting that now too. And what's happening is we're all working together and we're creating something in this town of nothing, basically. And that's what I always told my homies is like, everybody's always talking about we need to leave Roanoke, we gotta get out of here. But that's not necessarily true, because when you slow down and stop trying to be like New York and stop trying to be like LA and just be like where you are and what you're from, and you realize, okay, nothing's here, you have a blank canvas. And with the blank canvas, you can do whatever the hell you want. So it's like, why go somewhere where it's already been painted? You're going to have a hard time being seen where there's already paint there. You have a blank canvas here, bro. Just stay here. Do what you got to do what you want to do. Because when you F up, nobody's going to remember. Nobody's going to care. You can do something else. And that's how we treat it. It's just like, it's practice grounds and it's a home base too. So it's like, you stay here, the more we build, the more support you'll get when you actually step out. Because at least then you can come back. Because if you leave now and try to do some shit out there and then you come back, shit fails, they gonna look at you stupid. Like, we told you not to go, We should wait till they say, yo, go, and then the whole city's pushing you. That's when you leave, when they are ready for you to go, you know what I mean? It's a little iffy. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm kind of, I'm open to everybody. I'm a nice guy. I reach out to everybody, but I'm still smart. I got my eyes open. I know that there's people out here just trying to chase clout, and I know there's people that'll try to use positions that other people are in to boost themselves up and not really care what it does to your image. So you gotta be careful with that too. That's a big deal for me. I have 1 million people hitting me like weeks before the show, like, you gotta let me perform. You gotta let me. Not really. You know, it's like, I never even heard of you, bro. We never had a conversation or nothing, and I have to do this? No, I don't. No, I don't. Like, maybe you come to the show, tell me what you liked about it, tell me how you feel like you could contribute to it and come around more, I guess, then we can start having conversations, but nah, bro. Because my biggest thing is, anything I've done, I'm never on no, like, how can I benefit from it, and, like, how can I get more exposure with this, and this. Literally, this whole time talking to you, I'm sitting here talking about how I'm bringing other people together so that we can all, you know what I mean? Like, even the label itself, Basecamp, it's not no clout bar for me to just, like, hop up on the pedestal and be like, I'm Kelso. It's literally a platform to help develop other creatives in the city and build Roanoke as a whole. So I don't want to deal with people who are only trying to bring their awareness, because that means you'll do anything to get that, even step on my name. So hell no, I ain't gonna do that. No, definitely not. So to answer your question, I don't 100% know. I don't know. But I'm safe though. Like, I'm playing it smart. I got high hopes. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna answer it, but not answer it. So, when I was 18, I was either 18 or 17. I'm pretty sure I was like 18. I told my right hand man Justin, I was like, look, bro, by the time we're 19, we'll have an idea of what it is we want to do in life. By the time we're 21, we'll know exactly what it is that we want to do in life. And by the time we're 23, we'll be straight for life. I ain't know what the hell we was gonna do. I wasn't even making clothes at 18. We sitting here washing cars because we was both broke. And, like, I was coming back and forth from school and some other stuff. I'll be damned, I turned 21. I started making clothes, had the first rodeo, and it's like, okay, that's cool. And then here I am, 22, and it's like, shit is falling together. So I got 1 more year to, like, fall through on that little, that little plan. But that's where I'm at right now. But 5 years past that, I think I see Basecamp itself as being, like, a really heavy hitting label. I think it's gonna start a lot of things, but I also think it's gonna be a lot of copycats too. And I'm just hoping that me being in a smaller city, that I won't get overlooked as, like, somebody seeing what I'm doing here and they try to start it in LA, and then it becomes bigger than what I'm doing, and it's like, oh, you copy. But it's like, really, we started this shit, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. So yeah, 5 years from now, I think everything that we're trying to do now will be a lot bigger. I'll say that. As far as for me, no clue. Absolutely no clue. Yeah, come to Basecamp. That's it.
Yo, definitely come to Basecamp.
Yeah, come to Basecamp. We'll give you all the juice. I ain't saying nothing else. Being in Basecamp, you just not with us. I'm not giving you nothing.
You got the juice and the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Kelso. Thank you. Lit.